All right, welcome to another video here on Tree. So glad that you guys can join us. We are very excited about what we're going to be talking about today. Brand new product that we're releasing, but it's more than that, and that's what we're going to get into. It's not just you buy it and that's it. We're going to really get into the why behind it and the history and all of that stuff. It's going to be quite interesting. So hope you stick around and take a listen. We'll give it about a minute and then we're going to get started, okay? All right, about maybe 30 seconds, about 30 seconds or so, and we'll start. Hey, calculated crescendo. All righty. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am broadcasting out here in very sunny Arizona, where the temperature right now where I am is a very cool 107 degrees. Okay. It's just just a regular summer breeze. That's No, it's warm. It's definitely warm. But I have been on this thing about really trying to put together how to live an optimized life. And that's going to be the overarching theme of what we're going to be talking about today. So, for example, I'm here in Arizona, as I told you, 107 degrees. Just wanting to know, okay, optimized life. For example, solar panels, instead of just always depending on the power company to give me power, what are some things I could do to get, take advantage of this sunlight and the energy that we get from it, and I can use it for, some of my power needs in my house. Well, I have something here. I got some power batteries. They're down there. And I have some solar panels in the back. Not the ones that are mounted on the roof. I don't have that, but I have some portable ones. And in the near future, I'll probably be getting some more that are probably a little bit bigger that are still portable. And so I'll charge those up, and then I use that to do things like charge my phone, like little electronics and stuff like that. So it's just a little thing here and there. I can use it. As far as my office is concerned, there's other things I can point to, but it's just something, right? But if I got the ones, that mount on the roof, you could do a lot more in there. So anyway, another thing that I've been doing is using the dryer that we live in. Okay, so 170 degrees, dry heat. Yeah, that is, you can dry a lot of things out there. So people, they'll dry herbs and things like that. Well, I dry clothes. So what I've been doing lately is actually foregoing using our dryer. That's me now. Now, the rest of the family, they do their own thing. But what I do is I'll wash my clothes and then I just put them out in the back. And it literally takes, I would say on average, no more than a half an hour, and all my clothes are dry. All of them. When I say dry, I mean dry. And man, it's something. And I bring them in the house, and that's it. Now, let me tell you the advantage of that. The advantage of that, of course, obviously, I'm not using power. I'm not pulling from gas to dry my clothes, because if I use those things, usually if I put clothes in a dryer, my clothes in there for about 60 to 70 minutes, right? Well, half an hour, I put them outside, they're dry. So I don't even have to use gas. I don't have to use electric. But here's another benefit. Another benefit is UV rays. UV rays is good for a lot of things. It's especially good for killing back off bacteria and other nasty things that are in our clothes. The stank, basically, that you have in there, right? Once you wash your clothes and you put them in the dryer, yeah, the heat, it will do some things. But UV rays, like, for example, if you go to the airport or you go to, they have devices, depending on where you go, where you could take your cell phone, and if you want to clean it and make sure it's clean and kill all the bacteria, they have them in hospitals too. They'll use a UV ray light that you can put your device in and just sit it there for like maybe a minute or so, and it kills the bacteria and stuff that's on there. And yeah, you could do that. But the sun, where did they get that technology from? They got it from the sun. So when you sit your clothes outside while they're drying, it's also killing off all of this stuff. You know what I mean? So, if you, like my daughter the other day, she washed something and she was like, oh, it still smells, got something in there. I said, girl, just wash it again and just sit it outside. And I guarantee you ain't going, it won't do that. So I'm learning that, and I'm actually applying that. Another benefit is when you, put your clothes outside. When you're drying cotton, if you're wearing cotton, any cotton or linen, what happens is it actually stores some of that energy. And so there's a lot of benefit with that. It's not as damaging to your shirts, your stuff, everything that's made out of cotton, because cotton is natural and they're used to the sunlight anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's very good. However, if you have clothes that are made out of polyester or stuff like that, it's just like sitting out plastic out there. It's not really absorbing anything. So I much rather wear energized clothes, right? So that's one thing. Another thing I was learning this week was, how, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but the other day I was eating something, and I was in the house, and I just so happened to go outside as I was eating, and whatever it was I was eating, it was like I don't know, it was some kind of thing we got from a bakery or whatever. I went outside and I was eating it. Because this thing I got from the bakery, it didn't really taste all of that. It really didn't. I was just like eating it. But I went outside, and as soon as I went outside, I was like, wait a minute, this thing, it tastes different. In fact, it actually tastes a little bit better. Like I noticed that. But then all of a sudden it brought back into my mind all the times that I've noticed that in the past. When I'm eating indoors, my food tastes one way. And then when I go outside, I could tell it's like it's bringing out some flavors in it or something. And I thought, well, maybe I'm just imagining it. Well, come to find out, no, I'm not. And if you notice it, you're not imagining it either. In fact, what happens is, this is one of the many perks of sunlight. Sunlight amplifies your senses. So things like taste, for example, your eyesight, all of that, it magnifies it, it amplifies it. So when you are eating food outside, I mean, you can really taste, your senses get even more heightened. So you can actually taste more of the flavors that are in your food. And that's why a lot of times when you're outside and you smell someone barbecuing, you can really smell it, can't you? Like I remember we went one place, it was like it was a shopping center, and it featured a bunch of like Asian stores, and they had a restaurant there. We didn't eat there, but it was like a meat-based restaurant. It was one of these restaurants where they bring the food to the table, and you got a little thing in the center, and then they grill the meat right there, right on the table. Man, let me tell you something. We were outside, and we're walking, and I was like, dang, what's that? Like that smell, it grabbed me by the neck, and it was like just strangling me to come. And I said, I got to go. Let me just see what they got in there. Man, let me tell you something. I opened that door, and the smell was just like, oh my goodness. But that's what happened again when you're outside. Your taste buds, your sense of taste and smell, it becomes amplified. So this is why you need to be outdoors in the sunlight because of there are many benefits of it. And so what we've been doing here at Sombatry is, let's say, we're going to reel this thing back. We're going to reel this thing back, and we want to understand why it is when we talk about people that got a lot of melanin in our skin, like us, right? You, many of you, and especially me, this melanin in our skin, we've heard a lot of things about it, right? But we want to know, my mindset was, why do some people have melanin, a lot of melanin, while others don't? Why is that? Now, we've heard, and I've even repeated this as well, that when we look at people who do not have as much melanin as, let's say, myself, it's been said that they are deficient. They're deficient in melanin. Now, when you use the word deficient, it means that something in them is less than. It's not, 100%, right? That's basically when you use the word deficient. But no, it's not. Once you actually look at the science, no, it's just that some people are made differently. Just the way they're made. So, for example, when you look at, stretch all the way back as far as we can go, as far as human knowledge at this stage can go, when we look at people, the first people on the earth. Now, I know some of you, quite a few of you look at Adam and Eve. It started with two people. That's what we got from the Bible. However, when we look at actual, factual, proven science, what it tells us is that there is no way that you can get all of these people with all these different variables just from two people. Because when you get two people, they come together, right? There's only 4 parts of their genome, whatever, that gets passed down to the children. We have millions and millions and millions of pieces of our whole genetic structure of different characteristics and things like that. Everything that tells a story about our phenotype, our skin color, our hair type, the shape of our eyes, how tall we are, how short we are, and all of that. In other words, there's no way in the world that one woman is going to give birth to a pitch black man and an Asian man with slant eyes and straight hair. There's no way. Okay, you can't do that. All right. And so that's why we got some of this weird science out here where we'll just say, yeah, that's right, everything came from that. Yeah, to some measure. So what science tells us is that mankind actually started with a smaller group. They even studied, let's say, the Zulu tribe. And this is just one of many. I just looked up the Zulus because this is an ancient culture. And this is a tribe that's ancient, and, they tend to intermarry. They tend to stay within their own culture. They said they went back as far as they possibly can go. And they said, even with that, they can only still narrow them down to like 1,000, maybe 2,000 people. And so what that says is that we're very complex people. I'm just saying, just period, across the board, when humanity. I mean, we got all these different varieties that are out here, right? So with that being said, some of us, the way we look, our physiology, we'll have our skin, for example. I pointed that out. Our hair, one day we'll talk about that. Our nose shape, our eyes, all of that tells, it's letting us know that this earth suit that you have, it has very specific needs. That's what that tells you. It doesn't tell you that you're greater than that person or you're less than that person. No, it doesn't say that at all. It's telling you that your body has very specific needs. And this is why we have to understand that. We got to know that, right? And so, so when we talk about our nose, for example, you've heard me talking about this before. And for those of you who are part of the research group that I have out, it's on another platform. When we look at nose sizes, for example, when we look at people who are like East African, Northern Africa, when you start getting into Europe, their noses tend to get they tend to get narrow, right? It gets narrow because when you're in a dry climate, what happens is that moisture, or a cooler, slightly cooler environment, your lungs, in order for your body to function like what it's supposed to, you need to have your lungs got to get some air that's warmed up. And so when you have a narrow nose like that, a long, narrow nose, what happens is the air goes in and it actually will warm up the air enough to where it gets to your lungs, and your lungs are like, okay, we doing good. And same thing with Europeans. They're in an environment that, it's much cooler. They don't get as much sunlight and all that. So their noses are conducive for that environment. Now, when you look at people who are, from Central, Southern, or West Africa, well, look at our noses, okay? But it's not just Africa. You can also go into like Southeast Asia. You can look at places like in Australia or New Zealand and all of that. When you look at the Aboriginal, the original people of those lands, likewise, when you look at their noses are kind of the same like ours, right? Because we're in a climate that's not only has heat, but it also has a lot of humidity, right? And so that humidity is just there. And as we're breathing that in that regular humid air, well, there's no need for it to get warmed up or anything like that before it gets our lungs, because we're breathing in the air that we need to have, right? Now, what happens is fast forward, you got slavery, you got people moving from one continent to another, you got people blending in, you got all kinds of stuff going on, right? So what happens is we all are living in these different areas that are not conducive. We can survive, we can live, we can even thrive to a certain measure. But are we living an optimized life? Well, that's the question. And it's something that, unfortunately, we have been so far removed, a lot of us don't even think about it. And so when for example, I can live out here in Arizona, right? It's a lot of sunlight. Yay, I'm getting all the sunlight I need, right? But it's dry. But when you look at my nose is telling me that you need some humidity. Now, why is humidity very important? Well, I'll give you a couple of reasons, but one that stands out in particular. It's humidity. What it does, it plays a major role in, or it's one of the main factors in regulating your blood pressure. Now, what's one of the main problems that you see today with people that look like me? High blood pressure, right? It's a contributing factor. And it also allows your body to get rid of, I forgot the name of the gas, but it's a certain gas that your body will emit. I'm trying to find it right now. I had it in front of me. What is it? It's right here. It's right here. I literally had it right in front of me. It's a gas. Nitric oxide. There you go. Nitric oxide. And so when you're not in the environment that you're supposed to be in, you're not getting that benefit. Okay. And one day what we'll do is we're going to break this down. We're going to break this down in the class that we're going to have, which I'll tell you about that later. Okay. But anyway, so just think about that. Now, am I saying that's the main reason why black folks have a lot of black folks have high blood pressure? Absolutely not. But it is a contributing factor. So there are things that we need to do in order to make some changes to optimize our environment, which I'm doing. Like, for example, like I said, you see in the background, I have my humidifier. Well, it's on cool, okay? Because it's too hot to have that on hot. I have a cool hot one. So humidifiers, that's one factor. So we need to have a humidifier, especially in an environment like this. When you turn on the heat or you turn on your air conditioner, both of these things are actually drawing out moisture in your air. So it's important for you to balance that out with humidity, okay? Especially for us, because it has a direct impact on our health, all right? Let's see. So that's the humidifier. Oh, another thing, and this is what we're going to talk in our class too, talk about in the class that we're going to be offering, it's going to be a free class, is plants. Plants. There are different types of house plants that actually release humidity at night. And so we're going to be talking about that. What are some of the best house plants to have around in your house as well? So we're going to talk about that. Another thing that, because, and I get back to my point here, when we look at the special, unique needs that our bodies have, regardless if you look like me or if you have lighter skin or whatever, because we have been moved all over the world, what that did was it separated us from our original diets. So you have people, let's say here in the United States, today, the type of foods that we eat aren't the same foods that we used to eat, our ancestors ate. And so now a lot of this stuff, like, for example, we're looking at breakfast. Like, I'm actually doing something right now, a project where I'm redesigning breakfast, for people of our type. And so what are the things that we need when it comes to that? What are the, and I'm outlining those things. And if you caught the video that I did, the fruits and the top 10 fruits and veggies, that's a precursor to that. It gets much deeper than that. But, outlining those things, is very important. So when we got separated from our homelands, from our original diets and all that, we were forced a different diet. And America being America, or if you're in Europe, it doesn't matter. You just kind of try to adapt to what's given to you. Now, when you eat these foods, they do supply, they supply what you need and all of that, right? It's great, as far as like the basic things. But are you getting the things that are maximized? Are you getting the things that are optimizing your physiology and all of that? Are you getting that? And the answer, unfortunately, is no. When we look at the medical profession, when they treat people all the same way. That is not the way to do it. You have to take in consideration the different types of people that you're dealing with, their backgrounds and all of that stuff. They do that to a measure, but not enough. You can't treat people all the same way. Our food supply does the same thing. They just say, okay, chips for everybody, such and such for everybody, such and such for everybody. But what it's on us, because remember, you and I, we are our primary healthcare physician. It is up to us to do our own research and to understand what it is our specific bodies need, in order to live an optimized life. And that's where we get into what we are trying to address here at Samba Tree. So let me do this. I'm gonna go and pull up our webpage, and I'm gonna show you what exactly I'm talking about here. And let me get this up here on the screen, and here we go. All right, so here we go. So heal and upgrade your brain, introducing Samba Tree Brain Packs. And I'm going to go through each one of these and tell you exactly what's in it. So as I'm going through this, I want you to keep in mind, these are packs, and I'll tell you exactly what's in them. These are things when we put this together, that's what we're keeping in mind. We didn't just grab a bunch of herbs and different things and say, okay, we're going to slap them together and that's it. That's the thing I want you to understand. No, we did not do that. We're keeping in mind from top to bottom, because we're just dealing with the brain right now. Right now, we're just dealing with the brain. What are the specific things that people that look like us, a lot of melanin, what are the specific things our brain needs in order to be optimized health-wise, right? So that's what we did. That's the approach that we took. And you'll be surprised if you compared it to, let's say, other groups of people. There are slight differences. You'll see that if you were to take the time and look at this. Again, let me stress, it doesn't mean that one is better than the other. That's not what's being said here. Again, it's going back to the specific needs for specific people. All right. So, yeah, here we go. So we're going to talk about this, and I'll just go through and show you everything that's in here. All right. So let's go here. So it's already been added to the page, and here we go. So we're going to go to the first one here, Easy Adapt Organic Smoothie Mix. And I'll just read the description, and I'll just highlight some of the things that's in it. Okay. So anyway, it's created to support the anterior cingulate cortex, your brain's hub for adaptive problem solving and mental flexibility. Easy Adapt delivers clean fuel for fast, fluid thinking. Now pre-mixed into one scoop. So it's going to be something that's already pre-mixed. So you'll be able to scoop, boop, and that's it. All right. Let's see. Now pre-mix into one scoop. This blend balances greens with low glycemic sweetness and complete plant-based protein, making it a daily ritual for clarity under pressure. Also enhanced with organic maca for mood and hormone balance, organic sunflower lecithin for neurotransmitter support, and organic Ceylon cinnamon for blood sugar harmony and a natural sweet finish. And it goes on. And here are the things that's in every scoop. It's going to be organic hemp protein powder. And then it goes and it tells you exactly what part of the brain it's impacted. Okay. So organic hemp protein powder, organic lucuma fruit powder, low glycemic, natural sweetness, iron for oxygenated thinking, organic moringa leaf powder. Or just as soon as you hear moringa, that should just automatically be there you go. I need that. Organic sunflower lecithin powder. It supports brain cell membranes and all that. And then it says organic spirulina powder, organic maca root, organic Indian ginger powder, and organic Ceylon cinnamon. So it has all of that in there, and then we got how you mix it up. You can put a banana in there and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's the first one there. That's the Easy Adapt Organic Smoothie Mix. Let's go back to the main page and go to the next one here. We got the next one here is going to be Calm Mind and Reset Capsule Kit to calm emotionally reactivity, restore mineral balance, and help your brain tune out the noise. Designed to help your brain shift out of stress mode, this formula calms the amygdala, your brain's built-in alarm system, while restoring minerals depleted by tension. No numbing, just steady clarity when the world feels too loud. And then again, here's the ingredients here. I'll just go through some of them. Organic Kaiko husk tea. And again, all of these things, if you read through it, it will tell you what exactly it's good for as it pertains to your brain. Turmeric, magnesium, K2D3, very important. I take that every day. Sea moss and burdock root and bladderwrack capsules. So yeah, it has all of that in there. That's what you're going to get in your pack there. Let's go to the next one. It's a total of 5 that we have right now. The next one here is Focus and Flow Tea Sampler. Botanical blends to spark sustained attention, cerebral circulation, and task fluidity. Whenever you're diving into deep work or shifting between creative and analytical tasks, this trio is formulated to engage the anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, flexibility, and flow states. From gentle stimulation to improve blood flow, these teas help sharpen presence without overstimulating your system. Now, a lot of times people don't even think about all of these details here. And for some people hearing this, it may seem like, oh, okay, this is a sales gimmick. Yeah. Okay, I get it. All right. But do you know that junk food, people who make junk food, they go through they have details too? They say, yes, we're going to add more sugar because by adding more of this type of sugar, this is the reaction that's going to happen. Or if we add this particular dye, this is what's going to happen. Or instead of that sweetener, let's try this sweetener so that it can contribute to this. So this is the kind of information that you're going to need to pay attention to when it comes to anything at all that's going through your mouth, anything at all, or anything you're putting on your skin. You're going to have to know the details, all right? You got to get past of, oh, it just tastes good, or no, it ain't really my cup of tea. You got to get past that. And you got to know the details of it. Like I told you, my biggest challenge has been okra. I'm sorry. A million times I'm sorry. Okra just ain't my thing. However, when I start reading about it, as of late, I knew there was a lot of benefits to it, but I just didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. But let me tell you, I've been putting it in my smoothie. Not overdoing it, just enough. And I tell you one thing I've noticed, I've been getting cleaned out. And I'm looking at my stomach. It's like my stomach's starting to go down a little bit. So that mucoid, they call it mucoid, that slime, what it does, it coats all that on the inside and allows things to get flushed out a lot easier. Yeah. So I'm baby steps for me. I don't think I'll ever do, like what my dad would eat or my grandparents would eat. I can't eat it. I'm sorry. Because they all from the South. I can't do that. No, ma'am. No, sir. Anyway, what's inside Laotian green tea, organic, Kayako, hope I'm saying that right. Lord help me. Anyway, husk tea and the blue butterfly pea flower. You got that in there. Again, it tells you it tastes like chocolate. Okay, that other one, it tastes like chocolate, and it's very good. And there's a lot of benefits in it. Okay, you see, I need some help. So it has all of these things in it. Again, very, very good for you. Very good for you. Let's get to this next one here. Decision Clear Trio. Designed to nourish the orbital frontal cortex and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. The brain's command centers for judgment, impulse control, and moral reasoning. Wow. Now that should be a default right there that everyone takes. This trio provides nutrient-dense support for staying clear, fair-minded, and mentally energized. Whether you're navigating complex conversations or cognitive overload, this set keeps your thinking flexible and steady. And then what's on the inside? Sea moss, bladderwrack, burdock root capsules, black seed oil, organic Peruvian maca powder. You have that in there. And again, as you read these descriptions, it breaks down and it tells you exactly what part of the brain it's impacting. And then the last one here is Season Smart Set, 3 jars. This brain doesn't just need calories. It thrives on trace minerals and conductive nutrients that support nerve signaling, cellular hydration, and mood balance. The Season Smart Set turns everyday meals into nutritional support tools, layering in naturally sourced compounds that help maintain cognitive clarity, micronutrient density, and gut-friendly digestion. So in this, you get the Bladderwrack Savory Seasoning Blend, 50/50 pepper, and the red Aliyah salt. So you get that. Again, one more time, it breaks it down and it tells you exactly how your brain is benefiting from all of that. Okay. So there you go. Those are the things that we have that we are just released. And I do hope you take the advantage of it there. And when it comes to, because we're very serious about this, there's a lot of things right now, as you know, that's happening in the world today. And it's going to be imperative for our minds to operate at its optimum. It's going to be a lot of people who are going to be making a lot of bad decisions, and you're going to need to start taking very good care of your mind now. This is the time to do it. We're living in the time right now where they're already talking about going to war and all this other stuff, and people make some very dumb decisions based on what they see online, on the internet, what they hear other people telling them and all this other stuff. I cannot emphasize, even if you were just to say, hey, you know what, man, bump this. I don't want to buy from y'all. I'm just going to I'm going to source this stuff myself. If you do that, then great, mission accomplished. We met our goal is to inform people on the things we need to do to optimize this. In fact, we're so committed to this. We're going to be offering a free course. This will start later on this week. And it's not going to be one where I'm going to be broadcasting it live and you have to be there like the other courses that we have. This one, it'll be a video that'll be pre-recorded. I'll upload it. Email will go out letting you know and all of that. And then you'll be able to to access it and all that stuff. And so what we're going to be doing, this is a course that we're going to be teaching. And it's this course here. Let me see if I can find that little thing I made. Give me just a moment here. Let me pull that up here. Right here. Here we go. Name of this course here, we're calling it Real Intelligence. There you go. We're calling it Real Intelligence, Understanding Your Brain. That's what we're calling this. And this is going to be, I believe, 11-week course. So once a week, we're going to be uploading a new video. And each week, we're going to cover another part of the brain. And we're going to talk about it in detail. And not just in detail. Remember, we're going to be talking about it from the perspective of somebody, because we're not just talking about any brain. We're looking specifically at the specific needs of people who have a lot of melanin in their skin, because because just like people who don't have a lot of melanin in their skin, we have unique things in our bodies that need to be addressed, right? For example, when it comes to, everybody is fully aware of when it comes to exposure to, getting vitamin D. We need to be in the sun a lot longer, and that's just not like, it's a survival thing. It's a survival thing when it comes to us. And that ties into so many of the, blood pressure, and blood pressure can be tied into how you think, the decisions that you make and all that other stuff, right? So we're going to be in this class, we're going to go through every part of the brain from that vantage point. And we're going to talk about the things that we need to do in order to optimize it. We're also going to get into basic breathing exercises, something called box breathing. We're going to be talking about that, where, you hold your breath for like a certain amount of seconds, and then, from your nostrils, and then, you release through your nostrils, and then you do the same thing with your mouth and all of that. We're going to be getting into that, the importance of doing breathing exercises and what it releases and what it relaxes and what it activates and all of that. We're going to be getting into that. And this is something that we need to be doing this on the regular. We need to be doing this on the regular because, again, that's going to help this up here. All right. And so I'm very excited about that. And the way I designed this particular class here, we're going to be getting in some medical terms. I sit up here and laugh, I don't mind people laughing at me. I can't, some of these words, I have a hard time pronouncing them sometimes. So what I did was made sure that these medical, because we got to force ourselves into, we have to force ourselves into learning new things. You understand? So even if we got to take baby steps. So what I did was, as we are learning these new medical terms, I have it spelled out phonetically. So it's going to help people like me. And it's going to help people like you. Oh, you probably don't need it because y'all experts. But it's going to help us into understanding what these things are, what they do, and all of that, right? And then at the end, and they're designed to be no more than a half an hour. When I do these videos, it's going to be half an hour. That's it. I ain't going to be drifting, getting into other stuff. It's going to be a half an hour. Boom. I'm in and out. That's it. And then at the end of every class, we're going to have a quiz. All right. We're going to have a quiz at the end of every class where you have to go back. It's easy. Right. And then by the time when we reach week 10 or 11, however long it takes, We're going to have one big test. All right. We're going to have one big test, and then you take it so that, because again, we're getting ourselves to retain this information. It's not just you're listening to it and that's it. No, we got to retain this information, right? One of the other things we're going to be talking about too is getting in the habit of writing, journaling, use the importance of writing things down, not just reading, but also the importance of writing things down. Like my daughter just bought me this for Father's Day, and it's perfect because I have that one. That's for another purpose. But this one right here, writing down every day, what did I learn new today? And then writing it down. Or what is it? Yeah. What did I hear that kind of inspired me? Write it down. You know, or if you are someone that's very creative and you want to, you know, there was like some kind of design that you saw out there, you can draw it out. When you use your hands, there's certain things that are activated in your mind when you're in your brain, when you're actually writing things with your hand. There's a connection between your hands and your brain. When you do it with the keyboard, however, you lose a lot of that because you're just pressing buttons, right? So we want to get back into the habit of writing. All right. And that's the other thing we're going to be challenging people on. Again, this is a free course. Not going to cost you anything. If anything, you those that are part of it, you will get special discounts on certain things within the store, including what we're talking about today, these brain packs. So you'll get discounts here and there. So you want to stay tuned for that. As long as you're enrolled on our email list, just all you got to do is go to sombertree.com, go to our email list, and just sign up. If you already signed up, then you're already in. And then every time I do a video, I will, of course, it will get uploaded. We'll send an email out, and then I'll have everything. I'll try to have everything printed out for you so you can look at the PDF, right? I'll do the PDF, the video, and I'll see if I'll do an audio for you too, if people are interested in that. All right. So yes. So we're going to get into it, girl and guy. We're going to get into it. I just saw Peace and Mind Counseling. Yeah, we're going to get into it. Because this is information that we should have learned in school. Remember, you have artificial intelligence. Everybody getting all like, oh man, look at all this stuff that AI can do. Man, AI can do this. It could do that. It could do this. It could do that. It could do this. It could do that. You know, all this stuff. But that's artificial. Your brain is the intelligence that artificial intelligence was built. It was modeled after that. So these computers and this software, it's looking at you. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm sitting back and doing Chat GPT or some of these other platforms and all of that, they're just doing tasks and they're going out and getting certain things for me. But I'm making sure that I am the one that's in the lead. I'm not, you know what I mean? You're not giving me my own identification. You're not giving me my self-esteem and all that stuff. You ain't doing that. Now, it can do that if you want to, like these clowns out here that are typing in, talking about, if you were a god and you looked down on the earth and you wanted to show pity on somebody, who would you show pity on the most? And then they said, well, if I was a guy, and this is true. Y'all seen the video. Some of y'all seen the video. This video is going viral. A grown man using Chat GPT for affirmation. And at the end of it, because I didn't even see the whole video. At the end of the video, the man's up here got red eyes and he crying. Because AI was like, oh, after everyone, I've looked all high and I look low. It literally says this, we are the kings of the earth. We created the pyramids. We are the ones that crossed the Red Sea. We are the one. I mean, that thing had a whole riff going on. I'm looking for the AI organ to go with it. And people are like, yeah, see the system is, even the system is going to slip up and tell you the truth. Hey, listen, they can't hide the truth forever. I say, no. If you're going to fall for that, then all the more reason you need to do some repair work. You got to do some repair work, okay? And it's going to start with the basics, and so that's what we're here for. And but this is not a silver bullet. You know, the stuff that we're doing here on Cybertree is certainly not a silver bullet, because you got to get into some of the other things too, which I ain't trying to do all of that, which is going and get some professional counseling. You know what I mean? For some people, they're going to need that. You know what I mean? So, but this will clean up some of the things on at the home base. That's what we're after, right? Cleaning up home base. And then you can start getting into base 2 and base 3 and all of that, and getting in all of that. Oh, Greg, enough, Greg, enough. Okay. I'm gonna ban you. Let me just, but anyway, I'm very excited about this, and we're going to be getting more into this. So that's it. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Listen, you take care, and let's get these brains in order. Okay. I'm ready, and let's go. All right. Take care. And remember, go over to cybertree.com, and go ahead and let's get to work. Okay. You guys take care, and I'll see you again soon.